All right, guys, welcome back to another video. My name is Garrett, and in the last video, that was yesterday, we tried to create a blog, a really simple blog, using GitHub CoPilot. It actually worked. Not necessarily to my surprise, but it worked. It was my first time doing it, and so it was kind of cool. Let's take a look at what that got us, which I seem to not be able to get to the internet. So this is what we got. It's simple, to say the least. It is also, I would say, not the best looking. And it's in a grid, so that's why it's going horizontally instead of vertically. And yeah, just not a ton of styling, but it is using Tailwind CSS with the Next.js app. And so what I wanted to see in this video is if we can use GitHub Copilot to also maybe style the blog for us. And what I don't know will happen is if it will actually be able to like make it look presentable. Like, I don't know if we can say, hey, make it look like Stripe's website or make it look like Facebook. That'd actually be kind of interesting. I don't know if we can do that because I don't think that the AI, I guess the LLM that this is all based on, I don't think it really understands how things look at all. Like, it doesn't understand tags or like CSS tags, class names or anything like that. I think the way that it understands things is just what's been done before and tries to make sense of how different tokens actually fit together to make something work. The first thing I want to try doing is seeing if we can get it to actually just output some decent looking Tailwind CSS class name. Okay, so let's pop this in there and see what it did. Essentially, what it's telling me down here is that it created a Tailwind, it used Tailwind CSS for styling, and it created a card-like component, which actually it looks like it did create said card-like component. So having said that, wow, that's actually not bad. I'm like really impressed. But we know that we don't want it to be in a grid. So let's do instead, let's get rid of this and see what happens here. Okay, so it had originally put everything in a grid when we were doing this yesterday. And so if we get rid of that, it then puts everything like that in a card component. That's not bad. That's like, I'm like, it's not revolutionary. You're not winning any design awards, but like, it's not bad. Yeah. All right, let's see. I wonder if we can make it look like a site that we like. So let's say that we want to take inspiration from github.com. So this is the GitHub blog. So I wonder if we can use GitHub Copilot with Tailwind CSS to have it look like this blog, but do the styling for us. So let's go try that. Okay, so here is the result of what we had. It regenerated some stuff, and then it gave me something. It's different than what we had before, so let's go over here and check this out. I don't know that I would say it looks like the GitHub blog necessarily. Then again, I mean, I guess we can give it the benefit of the doubt in that, the GitHub blog has a lot more content to work with than the really simple blog posts that we put in our MongoDB database. Still not really looking like the GitHub blog, but that's okay, no worries. So that was an interesting one. Let's see, how about Google blog? This is a nice one too. All right, let's see if we can do that. So let's go back here. This time around, let's see if it can style our blog to look like the Google company blog. So let's give that a shot. Okay, so we generated something new, but I'm pretty sure this looks the same as what we had before. I don't actually think this one worked. Yeah, so that didn't really change anything. Instead of asking it to like mimic other blogs, what if we ask it just to make it look good, and then if it gives us the same thing or something that we don't really like, we can say, hey, make it look better or different, or let's kind of play around with the words and see what we can get. But this is kind of interesting because you can say, hey, I'm using this CSS framework, and have it design something for you and not really need to worry about that. And if you have a startup or if you're just trying to launch a new website or an app, Oftentimes the look doesn't have to be perfect. It just needs to deliver on the value that you're trying to deliver in the most minimal way. Let's now try and make it so it's not so much minimal, not so much whatever it spits out automatically, but let's ask it for specific types of styles, like a trendy style, or maybe a bento box style. That's like one that I think is kind of popular right now, or I think glass morphic or something like that. Let's see if we can kind of give it different keywords to go off of and see what what happens. Whoa, that actually worked. That looks great. Wait, if what? So if we did like, oh man, what's the container thing? Like, is it just this? And yeah, and then I think it's like margin auto or something. No, not auto. I think it is. And then we'll do like pad. This is me doing this, by the way, not them. And then I want to add a padding on the vertical sides of like, I don't know, 26 maybe. That might be a lot. That didn't work either. I don't think that's right. I think that should be working. That did work. I knew I was right. Let's do 24. Okay, that worked. And then on each of these, let's do a padding, padding vertical of 10. I don't know, something like that. That didn't work. Is there no 10? I think I'm still right. I want there to be, why is that not working? Margin maybe? Do we want margin? Oh, no, it is working. Sorry, we want margin 8. That's me. I'm just being stupid. What? This looks great. We could even bring it in more, make it a little bit tighter. We could say padding X, and we could do a lot. We could do like, I don't know, 86 maybe. Like that didn't work. What are the valid numbers? Is there like a 44 option? Yeah, that worked. I know that 96 is an option. I've used that in the past. Okay, that doesn't look bad. Like that looks good. Like it looks seriously good. I mean, it's like really trendy. Like that's really bright, really pops out at you. But like, I would make that my blog. Like I would actually use this. I'm gonna try it again, but we're gonna try to see if we can get it to use glass morphism. I don't actually know how this is gonna go because I feel like trendy is just like a really easy thing. You can kind of go, but glass morphism is a bit more specific. So let's see how we get there. Okay. All right, that didn't quite work because it's like completely transparent and it's okay. That didn't exactly work. Let's try the same thing again, but instead of glass morphic, let's try brutalism. That is brutal, that's for sure. Yeah, okay. All right, so here's another design style or concept called new morphism. New? I don't know. And it's kind of like a progression of like the skeuomorphism from like Apple in the early days of the iPhone. And then we had flat design, which I think Google like kind of pioneered with their material design. And now we have this new morphism. So let's use that word instead here and see what happens now. Not really. But you know what? Like, I'll give it the benefit of the doubt because it's definitely doing something different and doing things that kind of look like it would be what we want, especially in the case of that glass morphism. It did add in a blur. It did add in, opacity, things like that. And so I want to give it the benefit of the doubt and maybe think or assume that had there been more content on the website that it could really design and it could take advantage of the things that it was coming out with, maybe it would look a little bit better. But I will say, let's try the trendy one again, see if it gives us the exact same thing or something different. I think the trendy option that we had originally, actually, well, not totally originally, but a few times ago, looked the best. So let's go back to that one. Let's ask it for that one again. I want to try one more thing before we call it quits. I want to ask it to make up its own design style and see what happens then. Let's give it a shot. Okay, so it created its own design trend that it said I'll call layered shadows. So I feel like this could really be a miss, but let's find out what happens here. Whoops. Harvey. Oh, I don't know where the layered shadows are. Okay, that doesn't really look all that interesting. Let's try one more time. Instead of asking it for a design trend, we'll just say design style. Let's see if we get something different. Before we jump over, the big unveil for the last time, the last one, it's calling this one colorful outlines. So I can see that there is a border. It looks like we've got indigo 500. We've got text is also going to be indigo. Oh, okay. All right. That was interesting. Okay. Well, conclusion. Um, yeah, like sure, why not? Like it can help you with designing things, provided that you're not trying to like change the world of UX design. I think it can probably give you a head start, especially if you don't know a framework or something like Tailwind CSS or maybe Bootstrap if you're using that. You can definitely ask AI to say, hey, like help me out, give me something to start with so it doesn't look terrible and I don't have to do the styling myself. So 100% you can do it. And this one's not the greatest looking, but the one before this one doesn't look half bad, in my opinion. I'm also not a UX designer, so maybe take that with a grain of salt. But at any rate, I think it actually was kind of a success. I think it could definitely give you a head start. And yeah, so anyway, if you enjoyed the video, my name's Garrett. Definitely like, comment, and subscribe. And also hit the bell so you see when the next video comes out. And as always, I'll see you in the next one. Take care.